Another thing I really wanted to talk to you, David, is about the universe and life. I know many people have their own personal understandings of it, but I really wanted to know, in your own beliefs, in your own opinions, what is the ultimate secret of the universe?
The ultimate secret, I would suggest, is, and it's not really a secret, because people have known about it since any time we know. It's just that in the mainstream, that secret is a secret because it's suppressed from the population, because the liberation that the knowledge of that secret gives you in terms of power and perception of self and reality is so powerful that a population with any number of people, really, any sizable number of people in that awareness of this secret would never ever be able to be controlled by a few as people are today. And that secret is that we are, what are we? We are infinite awareness. People say, well, what are we? They look for form, they look for bodies, they look for this, they look for that. No, no. Just imagine awareness. Just awareness. And this awareness is infinite, and this awareness interpenetrates everything. Whether it's a tree, a blade of grass, anything, that awareness is there. The question is, what scale of awareness are you accessing? And that comes from our, what I would suggest is our point, the point of attention of that awareness. What I mean by that is I'm infinite awareness. All that is, has been, and ever can be. All possibility. You know, people say, what do you mean all that is, has been, ever can be? You can't, you can, because what am I saying? I'm saying all possibility. And all possibility must be something that is and isn't, something that is everywhere and nowhere, something that is everything that has been, is, and can be. That's what all possibility is. So we are all possibility awareness. Point is, where is the attention of that awareness at any point? And what the body does, the lens of the body, is it focuses our attention into a tiny, tiny range of frequency that science calls visible light, which is so tiny it's almost infinitesimal. It's laughable. I mean, humans are blind compared with what even mainstream science says exists beyond the visible range. And so that's our point of attention. But you can be in the body, in the world, in terms of your perception through the five senses. And you can also be beyond the world, because your point of attention, while it is locked into the five senses, and should be, because that's what we're experiencing here. Try experiencing this world without the five senses. Not, you know, big challenge, have a go. But you then expand your awareness, so it's not just that. It's actually the understanding that you are infinite awareness. That means you're in the world and interacting with it. And what the body does, see, our awareness, in its pure sense, I couldn't do that, because that would be on a totally different frequency to my infinite awareness in its pure sense. So we take on these outer shells that are within the frequency range we want to interact with, the body, what I call the biological computer, or the cosmic spacesuit, biological spacesuit, and therefore I can interact with the world. But if you have this range of awareness into the true sense of what we are, you realize that David Icke is not who I am, Luke is not who you are. It's the name for a current experience of infinite awareness, and your infinite awareness and my infinite awareness is the same awareness. It's just got 2 points of attention. One's called Luke and one's called David. And once you realize that you are infinite awareness having an experience, then that knowledge can allow you to take control of the experience, because you know it is in your power to do that. And this is where the conspiracy, we can talk about the conspiracy on the five sense level, and I do all the time, but if we're really going to understand the basis of it, the foundation of it, we have got to get much, much deeper in an understanding of reality, because that's where the conspiracy is coming from. We see Bilderberg meetings and banks and all the rest of it, and we should investigate them. But where it's all coming from are these inner sanctums that understand how reality works and therefore can manipulate a population that they have systematically misled and suppressed so that they don't understand how reality works. And if you understand reality and the interactions of reality and how we create our experience by our sense of reality, then there may be a few of you and the population may be billions. But if you know how it works and the population doesn't, you are in a mega position of power and manipulation over the population. So the last thing that the conspirators want is a population with an expanded state of awareness which is in this world to interact with it, but is not of this world in the sense of its ultimate point of observing the world. It wants people in the five senses and in the world and of the world. Why? Because once you've removed people from that big picture filter where you see how the dots connect, suddenly the dots don't connect. What the five senses see are dots. They don't see connected dots. This is why the mainstream media, which is a five-sense profession overwhelmingly, will talk about different elements of the world but will never connect them to see the picture and therefore the connections between them. And so when you're in five-sense mode, and you've not got this bigger picture filter to see what's really going on, there's only one place you can look to get a fix on the world from information that you are receiving to get that fix, and that is this way. And if you go that way, what comes back in terms of information? The mainstream media, the education system, mainstream Stone Age science, and I'm sorry, Stone Age, it's only an analogy, and all the other stuff that's coming back. In other words, this is this conspiracy in one sentence. Pull people into people's sense of attention, point of attention, into the five senses, so that dominates everything. And then program that sense of attention in isolation from its true self with the information you want them to believe and the perception of self of the world you want them to believe. Gotcha. And what do we talk about, Luke? We talk about the fact that there's an awakening going on. Well, what does that mean? You know, did the alarm clock's just gone off? Are we getting up? What time is it? No. Awakening, another word for awakening, or another phrase for awakening, is the expansion of point of attention. Yeah. That's what it is. So when people expand that point of attention, it's symbolically, it's like the five senses is looking at this red thing, which is a bit blurred. What's going on? And then as your point of attention expands, you realize it's a brick, and you realize it's a wall, and you realize it's a house, and then you realize it's a town and a city and a planet, and you know, suddenly it makes sense. Yeah. But most people are looking at the blurry brick and saying, this is the real world, and it's really a world a program that we've been put into, so we don't see the real world.
And there's a lot more to this world that we actually don't even see or perceive or understand. And many people have actually, when they use DMT, they actually say that this helps them understand the greater understanding of everything. We were talking about DMT last night, and we talked how we had very similar experiences when we were on it. Can you tell us about your experiences and what you took out of DMT?
Well, I took it in the form of ayahuasca. I only took it twice in about 3 days in Brazil in 2003. I've not touched it since, and I don't feel the need to. But the experience I had was massive. And for me, people say, it took me somewhere. I don't think it takes us anywhere. I think it takes us to where we already are. And if we're in a really deeply negative state, you can take this stuff and have a real, what they used to call in the 60s, a bad trip. Or if you're in another state, you can have a wonderful experience. Yeah. My experience was just unforgettable. I mean, I had a voice, a woman's voice, what is a woman's voice? Oh, it's just a woman talking to me. No, it's a frequency. It is an information field of a certain frequency, and certain frequencies you decode as female and certain frequencies you decode as male. It's a consciousness that is communicating, and almost certainly, it has to be if we're all infinite awareness, it's an expression of your own consciousness, just a very much deeper level of it. And for 5 hours, it talked to me about the illusory nature of reality. And I had instant recall of every word afterwards, which was amazing in itself. And I was taken to a place, I'm using human language here, taken to a place.
It's very hard to describe. Yeah.
And I tell you, it's a place that I experienced as beyond the realm of vibration. Because anything that vibrates, this is actually, funny enough, Luke, this is one of the many really stunning lines that this voice communicated to me. Because when it started off, it said, we're going to take you to where you come from, so you will understand better where you are and where you're coming back to. And then it kept repeating, this is right at the start of this voice starting, 5 hours. Infinite love is the only truth, everything else is illusion. And when you study near-death experiences and all that stuff, when they go into these realms beyond the body, I have never come across anyone that wanted to come back, because they talk about this unbelievable bliss and love and all the rest of it. And anyway, I had this stunning line I was talking about at one point. It said, infinite love is the only truth, everything else is illusion. If it vibrates, it's illusion. Right? Because the pure, infinite, all that is, all possibility, is still and silent. People think that things have to move to be something, and actually silence is all sound. It's all possibility waiting to manifest. So if I'm talking now, I have picked out of that infinite possibility of sound, I have picked out the words that I am talking. And when I stop, apart from the traffic, it's gone back into silence. Within the silence is everything. So I experience this as this silent stillness, as the infinite point of attention. And it took the form of a